What is going on, everyone? Long time no see, and so I thought a guide was in order after all of this time off. This is a beginner's guide to Overwatch, MOBA-Fps hybrid being developed and published by Blizzard Entertainment. The same masterminds behind World of Warcraft, the StarCraft series, the Diablo series, Hearthstone, and Heroes of the Storm. Now starting off with the basics. In Overwatch, there are now 21 different heroes. That is obviously going to increase as time goes on, and 8 different maps through 2 separate team-based objective game types, and one of them kind of being a hybrid. So there are 4 different roles that the heroes can play. You can be a damage, a tank, defense, or a support type hero. And although not every character is completely unique, they all do serve their own individual purposes on the battlefield. 21 heroes doesn't sound like a whole lot, but it's actually a lot more than you would think. And a great way to combat the opposing team is to put together a good combo of heroes that can work well together. Not everyone can just be a damage hero and want to try and kill everyone, because your team would just get absolutely demolished. You really need to have at least one of each role to somewhat do decent against the other team. Some heroes are melee and some heroes are ranged, so keep that in mind. Now, a team with a mix of melee and range is also kind of needed, because you need some of those larger heroes such as Reinhardt to shield up and help out your team, as well as deal some crazy ass close damage. So that might put something into your mind too while you're playing. Now explore the heroes and have fun with it, and find your favorite throughout all of them. Now within Overwatch, each hero has a basic attack which can be accessed on the left click. They have 2 secondary abilities on shift and the key E, and then they have an ultimate which is on the key Q, and it's unique to each hero. Obvious. Now that is also loosely correct, because some heroes do have more than that, like they have a secondary attack which would be right click, and or they also can have a passive. So upon obtaining your ultimate, it is a strong ability that does a lot of good and a lot of damage or whatever it is for your team as well as yourself. So don't just go and blatantly use it very wisely. You get your ultimate when your meter on the bottom hits 100% by dealing damage, supporting your team, and killing the heroes on the opposing team. In Overwatch, there are 8 different maps, 5 of them being part of the payload game type, 3 of them in the point capture game type, and like I said before, one of them is actually a hybrid of the 2. There is an offensive team and a defensive team. The defensive team gets extra time before the match to set up their defenses so they can repel the attackers. On payload, the attacking team is trying to escort a payload to a specific point in order to win, while the defenders are having to defend against the attackers to win. On point capture, the attacking team is trying to capture multiple objectives, while of course defending team is trying to not let them capture the objectives in order for them to win. Now for the hybrid map, it begins as a point capture type, and after capturing the first point capture, obviously, it becomes a payload where the offense has to escort the payload, obviously, like I said before, to finish off for the win. The user interface within Overwatch is actually very clean, it's very simple, and it's not too flashy, so going over what each thing represents is actually very easy. On the bottom left, you have your hero portrait with your health, and the fire bar being the skinny small bar on the bottom, which represents how well you are doing throughout the match. On the bottom middle of the screen is the meter that you have for your ultimate, and it fills up throughout the match and eventually glows when you have access to your ultimate. On the bottom right, it shows the cooldown of your basic abilities as well as your ammo. Lastly, at the top, there is a objective, and it shows how much time is left throughout the match. Now, a few suggestions if you're watching this and playing Overwatch. Obviously, it is possible to change heroes throughout the match after dying. Keep that in mind. Now, I suggest if you aren't doing well with your hero or don't enjoy playing the hero, then switch it, because it could benefit you as well as your team, because if you're not doing well, you're not helping out your team. But keep in mind that you do lose all of your progress towards your ultimate that you have made, so that could be a little bit bummer when you change. Also, remember, Overwatch is about taking objectives, not getting kills. This is not Call of Duty, and kill death ratio obviously is not a big deal in this game. So try to play safe, but at the same time, playing aggressive enough where you can keep the other team off the objective, or if you're on the attacking team, to try and capture the objective. Practice and have fun with it. Just mess around, try and have fun. It's a very casual game, if at most you could, eventually get into competitive more, but have fun doing so. That's going to do it for me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the guide, and maybe you found it helpful. If you did, spread the word, but mostly have fun.